Hi, this is Dr. Jose Bolaños, and I'm the founder and CEO of Nimbus-Key.com. We have a secure identity solution that helps protect the front end to enterprise logins. As you know, 80% of the criminal intrusion into enterprises is through the front door. Over 15 billion passwords have been stolen. So there's a very significant problem, and most of the other players in the space are um, are essentially dealing with this problem in a different way. Let me share my screen with you. Um, so what we have here is our Nimbus Secure Identity solution, in which, as I said, 15 billion passwords have been stolen, and it's really been a significant problem. Most of the other authentication mechanisms are still static. We're talking username, password, security questions, or 6-digit PIN. The largest breaches in history: Yahoo, 3 billion compromised accounts; Facebook, 540 million user records exposed in 2019, and an average of 4.62 million in the data breach cost, essentially when they're encrypting all of your data systems and then requesting Bitcoin in response. So the front door has been really significant. As I said, 80% of the intrusions are through this process, and so getting rid of passwords is very important. I don't want to go too deep into this, but when you think about authentication, there's single factor, two-factor, and multi-factor authentication. Multi-factor authentication adds a biometric, either a thumbprint or a face scan, similar to what Apple has done, but it's not doing a KYC. Banks need KYC AML, know your customer, anti-money laundering, validation of users before they issue you a bank account. And the world is going to digital. And so what happens is Apple has the biometric, it's a mathematical compilation of that face or thumb or print that is a key that then connects all your username and passwords. So I can create an account with your name on it in Google and a new email, and my iPhone face will link me into that account that I just created, but it's not you. So what we've done is we do a KYC, AML, artificial intelligence, and biometric integration in the registration of a user. That once you register, you get a global ID with Nimbus. And our authentication methodology is beyond what's out there. It's dynamically encrypted multi-factor authentication. We received a patent in 2018 in which we take an ID number, if you encrypt it and output it as a QR code. That's what we're doing is taking an ID, dynamically encrypting it, and outputting it as new keys every time you log into our mobile app, so that criminals cannot reuse these keys in order to log in. When you look at current methods, mag stripe, barcode, a normal QR code is just text. So these are all static methods that need to go away. We have a dynamic system in which, when you log in with facial recognition, master PIN that you registered with, the ID, we have the ID of your phone and your geographic location. You then are authenticated, and our system issues a brand new set of keys, dynamically encrypted QR code, dynamic PIN, that you use to log in. The current systems, they're front-end and back-end integrations. The front end is something called FIDO that's being used for social media, but it's not as secure as back-end banking system uses SAML2 and OpenID Connect as an example. So this is a back-end integration that we have actually implemented into our system. Right now, we're doing pilots with companies. We have connections to Microsoft, Azure Active Directory, Salesforce, 150,000 companies, and AWS. All of the developers that are working on AWS are going to love what we're doing. Okay, and what I have now is there are a Chrome and a Safari login. So right now I'm going to show you the Safari login. In the Safari, I'm allowing my laptop to actually activate the camera. Now, I will, after this, show you how you, if you don't have a camera on the computer, we've actually created a logistic that actually reverses the logistics, but actually, so let me show you. So first I'm going to log into my Nimbus, system. So there I am. I've been successfully authenticated, and these are the connections that we have. I'm going to show you as an example. I'm going to log into Microsoft 365, and so here no passwords, secure keys that, again, criminals cannot keep reusing. Again, 15 billion passwords are stolen. It's really quite problematic. So I'm into my Microsoft Office. So that's very exciting here. Now, to give you an example, if a company is using AWS, so here it is. Again, it's actually, we direct to the login security. And I have logged in now to, this is our actual account that we use on AWS. And so we're in. So this is very, very, very exciting. So what I'm now going to show you, so here we're going to do another initial login as an example. I have to log into the Nimbus account first, and then those accounts are connected. So what happened here was we inactivated the camera on this particular login, and our system detected that there was no camera. We encountered a hospital system that said, we have 1,000 computers without cameras. So we've reversed the engineering in such a way that what's encrypted in this QR code is the information necessary to log in to, number one, onto Nimbus, and then secondarily, we're going to log into Salesforce. So on my mobile phone, there's a little button that activates the camera on my phone, and it says scan secure Nimbus ID, scan QR code. I press that button, and I'm going to scan the QR code, and it now gives me a dynamic PIN. And it will now log me into my system. So it did the exact same thing with reverse logistics here. So now I want to log into my Salesforce account. And again, most companies will only have one login, and then that login to that single sign-on process manages all the users and the permissions. So we're outside of that, bringing you into the system. So here I'm going to click on Nimbus-Key ID, and it's going to direct us to the login to the company's Salesforce account. Again, detected that there is no camera, so I'm going to scan it with my mobile phone. And again, this is within our app, so it's actually, all the information is encrypted as it's being sent and received. And our encryption process is dynamic and goes beyond HTTPS essentially. So right here, we're logging in, and again, this browser is a little on the slow side, so we apologize. So we are now, we're now inside of Salesforce. Is that amazing? No usernames, no passwords. Every employee will have a Nimbus-Key ID as a global ID that will allow them initially to log into the enterprise of the company, but the account is owned by the person. And so what we're looking at here is the ability to hopefully do something really exciting, and that excitement really revolves around being able to create a identity that is verified every time you log in with a mobile phone, and our system issues dynamic encryption, Nimbus key, and dynamic PIN. Plus, we're checking the ID on the phone to make sure that it's you and not a fake phone or a fake location. Let's say you're logging in from Russia. So we do a much more sophisticated user verification, issuance of keys that cannot be decrypted within a 24-hour window. So essentially, if you're logging into systems, this will actually protect your information as a user and protect the login to enterprises. And again, this is such a significant problem that we're excited that we have done this, and it's very exciting. The world is a biggie here. We're members of x9.org in Washington, D.C. That is the organization that manages the cybersecurity of the banking industry. And we believe we're going to play a role in secure identity for banking as well as the crypto world. As you know, the US government wants to issue a stablecoin that is 99% backed with US dollars with partnering banks. But the problem with the blockchain is there's no identity layer, and it's an anonymous public key to public key transaction. There's no information on transactions. So we believe we can play a very significant role in the blockchain in providing secure identity and what the transaction is about. In healthcare, we're looking at the ability to be able to do digital transactions of healthcare services, and that's a $4 trillion a year market. We're excited to have you joining us in this presentation, and we're happy to entertain any questions. You please can send an email to Jose at Nimbus-T.com. Thank you.